Okay guys, we're just going to do a wee video here where we're going through one of the foundational principles or techniques that you will use in our CrossFit classes. So this is learning how to brace correctly, which is going to be based on diaphragmatic breathing. So we're going to go through what we would do with you guys in one of our introduction sessions. Coach Benji here is going to be the demo girl today, so he's going to go through that and we'll see what that looks like. Super important in any of our barbell techniques and stuff like that we have a nice neutral midline, so we don't want to be coming forward, flexing forward, or we don't want to be overextending. Okay? So nice straight back, we all know that, but this is about how we achieve a nice straight back with the correct level of tension. Okay? So we're going to start with the feet up in the box here, stick the heels up on top of the box. So this just allows the lower back to be nice and neutral with the hips tucked under there, okay? I'm gonna ask Benji to place one hand on his stomach, one hand on his chest. And then just take a big breath in, we'll see what happens. Okay, cool. So I haven't coached Benji there on that, so that's just his natural breathing pattern. What we see there is that, do that again. His chest is rising first there, okay? So if you can see me now, if I take a big breath in through my chest, what that's gonna do is cause me to lift my chest, upper back, and go into a bit of overextension, okay? So I'm losing a nice straight back. So what we're gonna talk through here now is Benji's gonna try to take a big breath through his nose initially and try to expand his belly first, okay? So as we watch this, what we wanna see is the hand that's on Benji's belly rise first, okay? Maybe the hand on the chest might rise after, and that's fine, but we wanna see the hand on the belly rise first. So go for that, Benji, through the nose. Good. Big breath out then through the mouth. All the way out. We'll see the rib cage coming back down to neutral there as he breathes out. Back in through the nose for the second breath. Want to see the hand, the belly rise first. As we do this then, what we're looking for and what Benji is going to try and think about here is like 360 degrees expansion around the lower midline, okay? So we want the belly to be pushed out. We also want pushing out at the sides, trying to expand at the sides, and thinking about push the lower back into the ground as you breathe in through the nose. So what this is allowing you to do is you imagine if you just take a big breath into your chest, as we saw at the start, which is natural for most people, but incorrect for creating a complete brace. You're only filling your upper chest cavity, you're not filling in your lower abdomen. So you can take in more air here, which is going to give you a bigger brace, more tension, and then less likelihood of you losing your midline neutrality either forward or backwards in those examples that we showed earlier. Okay, cool. So go through another couple of rounds of that. I would imagine for most people as you do this, hopefully Benji's found this too, as you go through this breathing sequence, you get a wee bit better at it and you feel like you're taking in more air as you go throughout. How does that feel, Benji? Is that happening? Yeah? Cool. So it's also quite relaxing. It's a good wee warm-up drill to prime neutral midline. It's a good way to cool down as well, especially in maybe a back intensive workout, or if you feel like you've maybe lost your back position and your lower back's tightening up at all, it's a good way to sort of reset into neutral as well. So we'll come out of that, maybe Benji stands up. So there's a variety of ways that we could then challenge that further using like hollow body positions and stuff like that. But we will then try to apply that now just to a regular brace that you would maybe use just before you back squat, deadlift, things like that. So as you were breathing out there, Benji, we'll maybe just do that again. If you breathe out, you'll see that your rib cage comes down, yeah? Okay, so maybe just exaggerate that for us just so we can see what that looks like on the camera. So we're finding neutral lockdown there. So from here then to create our brace and tightness through the middle, what we're going to do is squeeze the glutes, tucking the hips under, then we're going to, got that tension of a lockdown rib cage, you're going to take that same diaphragmatic breath in through the nose, trying to expand belly, lower back. Do that again, big through the nose, locking in, we've got that tension, that's your brace. So that's what we want to be doing. Say if we're approaching a barbell for a back squat, we want to be going through that sequence, create that tension, hold that, and then do your movements, okay? So that's a lot easier to do as we're standing tall here. Once you then maybe, if you put your arms overhead for a overhead squat, or if you come down into a hinge position closer to the ground, you're challenging it and it becomes a lot more harder to create that tension. So it's about practicing it in different contexts, different movement contexts, and learning how to maintain the tension. So that's why we start in a very straightforward position where it's easy to feel that and you get that awareness, and then we try and apply that in increasingly difficult contexts so that we can then learn how to do it on some of our harder movements, such as pulling weights off the floor, squatting, overhead squatting, things like that. Cool?